Okay, so if someone gives consent the night before, and then they have, listen, if they have sex with a man and they give consent to him, then the next day decide, oh, I regret it, I'm going to report him for being a rapist, even though I gave him consent. You're saying that's okay? You just got roasted. All right, we finally made it back here to the Vancouver Art Gallery after following around the slut walk. Our cameraman got shoved and pushed, my sign was ripped up, and I got a few middle fingers and got called a bitch.
So what happens when you say alleged rape and rape actually does happen? What are we doing when we treat women like that? I don't understand.
You can't put someone in prison if you haven't proven them guilty of something.
So then how do we prove everyone guilty of stuff? There are convictions, there are charges. When you say alleged rape, you're not believing the victim of said rape. You know, we put alleged as a word.
So are you saying that we should just believe women right away when they say they've been raped?
We have to believe any rape victim.
We just followed around the slut walk in Edmonton, and unfortunately this time they did know who I was and did not want to speak to me because of that. So they kept saying she's not a real reporter and don't talk to her. Hi, sorry, I'm just wondering what your sign means.
It means that, consent is the ultimate thing, with regards to sex. If there isn't consent, then
it says your kink is your consent.
In honesty, I didn't make the sign.
Hello, my name is Lauren. A few years ago, I uploaded this photo of myself holding a sign saying, "I don't need feminism because I believe in equality, not entitlements and supremacy."
No one ever challenges these people. No one ever goes into their space and holds up a sign and says, you are perpetuating lies, you are perpetuating you are being disingenuous by saying we live in a rape culture and the majority of people support rapists, the government supports rapists. That's just not what happens. And the facts that they're giving you, whether it be 1 in 5 women are raped on campuses, whether it be the wage gap, those kind of things, and no one ever really goes and challenges them. And I'm not surprised. They're scary to challenge. They have a mob mentality, which you could see what happened to me. They had a mob come around me and just start yelling at me all at once. They mobbed me on Twitter after. They created lies about me. But people have to start standing up to this because it's just going to start becoming more mainstream and more mainstream. You're seeing it in academia with professors perpetuating feminist literature and feminist ideologies. You're seeing it in government too. You look at Hillary Clinton's campaign ads. So people think this is just a vocal minority, but really, even if it is a vocal minority, they are gaining traction in education and politics, in the workforce with affirmative action. So it's not whether or not this is a vocal minority or not, it's the fact that they have influence, and that's scary.
I assume that you're a cisgender straight woman because you obviously
I actually
haven't ever been raped either.
I actually identify
so
as an attack helicopter, so it's really offensive.
You sound like you're speaking from a very privileged point of view here.
Very privileged.
Yes.
Sorry guys, there's only two genders, female and male. This is extremely controversial to say. Science and facts, extremely controversial.
Jesus. Oh my God.
There's a group of women that were here and they're wishing to withdraw consent to use the footage that you had, I guess, gotten. So can you please make sure that is done and make sure that any of the stuff that they have...
We may or we may not use the footage. It is a public area, so we do have legal rights to use the footage.
But you interviewed them specifically, right? So
yes, and they gave us consent to interview them.
Well, now they're withdrawing it, so...
That's not how it works, but...
Which is interesting given the event that you're at, right? That's a little bit contradictory.
I mean, it's a little bit contradictory.
Well,
I totally say it, that's not how it works.
Well,
you can't just withdraw consent the next,
Well, that's interesting.
Why is that interesting?
It's just, I don't know.
No, tell me what.
A rally for rapists, consent and drawing consent, saying no means no. They're saying no, and you're saying